This is my review of Transformers Prime First Edition Cliffjumper, and I have to say there are two reasons why I was really looking forward to picking up this particular figure. Reason number one, I'm a big car guy. I love my muscle cars, I love sports cars, exotic cars, and so to have a Transformer like this that has a really cool vehicle mode is definitely a plus. And when I first saw pictures of this, I was blown away, and I'm still impressed by it. Second reason is it's been quite some time since we've actually had a unique Cliffjumper mold. And by that I mean, in the past we've had Generations Cliffjumper, we've had the movie line Cliffjumper, but in those two cases they've been repaints of Bumblebee. So finally we get a unique Cliffjumper Transformer figure. And fantastic detail, lots of silver paint here on the rims, on the exhaust tips, and the front grille has also the silver paint. And just look at that, that's fantastic, and in my opinion one of the best parts of the vehicle mode and what really drew my attention to this particular Transformer. You've got sort of a dark blue translucent plastic for the headlights, and of course you got the horns here. You can see they're flexible plastic. No paint, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's alright. And we move to the back of the vehicle here, you can see more silver paint. The windows themselves are more of a light blue, or kind of a light blue or dark blue translucent plastic. You can see there. Look at the underside of the vehicle. And one last thing, as far as the details, there is a silver painted Autobot symbol, but if you look closely at it, it actually is raised above the surface of the body of the vehicle. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not just simply painted on the flat surface of the body of the vehicle, it's actually raised up. So that's nice, a really nice touch there. You do get this stand, which is part of the packaging, but it comes out and it's made of cardboard. So you do have that. You can use that for like vehicle mode or robot mode, but there you go. There's that. Now, size comparisons. Now, this vehicle does seem to be a bit small, especially when you compare him to, like here, for example, Drift. Being a muscle car, it should be at least as big as this Japanese sports car, but it's not, which is fine. But I just want to give you a size comparison as a reference, so you're not surprised. I have to say I was a bit surprised by the size of this, but nonetheless it's very nicely detailed. Another size comparison, we have the Transformers Prime Bumblebee, and you can see there, little comparison there. And do that same comparison with the Drift figure here. Yeah, you can see that just looking at it like that too. A little bit on the small side. Alright, so transformation. Pretty simple. Basically, the first thing you want to do is you want to grab the section on the side of the vehicle, pull this out, and these are actually going to become the legs and the feet. Then what you want to do is you want to grab onto the hood here, and you can see there is a hinge joint there, and this is not quite in the order that Hasbro recommends, but I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. You want to take these pieces here on the side, you can see there, rotate them down, and that allows you to basically flip this section of the hood up like that, and then you're just going to put this back there, and that gets, that's where it's going to be for now. Grab onto the legs, rotate them around like that. Then you have these bits of plastic here which are part of the window. Fold those in, get those out of the way. You can see here we've got what are the feet. You're going to take these and you're going to rotate them out like that. And then this whole section of plastic here is going to basically just tab into place like that. And same thing on the other side of the leg as well. Now the tricky part here is you want to make sure you can see how it goes like this and then to the side. You want to grab onto here and basically pull this down. And come on, there. And that's just going to give Cliffjumper a little bit extra height in terms of his legs, like that. So then what you're going to do is you're going to rotate the, well, you're going to flip this piece down here, and you want to rotate the top section of the vehicle 180, and you may just have to kind of bend it back like this just to get enough clearance to go around like that. And you can see Cliffjumper is beginning to take form here. So next thing you want to do, split the back here, and then these sections of the vehicle here will fold up top like that. Come on. And these split apart and go out to the side. And these are going to become basically the arms, and then you got the hands there. Back here, you can see there's the head, and it's actually mounted on this piece of plastic here. Now you got to kind of just dig in there and get this out. You may be able to use Cliffjumper's head here, but most likely it's going to come off. There we go. You just kind of have to get underneath there and lift that piece up like that. So there is his head, which is really nice. You want to separate the chest panels here, and you'll see that there is this piece of plastic, or this little point here. You want to insert that kind of between the two chest plates, and that kind of keeps them separated. It doesn't do a whole great of a good job, but you get the idea. It's supposed to attach in there. You can see how it kind of goes between the dividing line between the two pieces of the chest armor there. Bring the arms down and fold up the panels like that. You've got one arm done. Fold up the panels. Coming back here, there is a tab, and then there's a corresponding slot behind his neck. Tab those in place. And here is Cliffjumper in robot mode. So let's have a closer look here. Fantastic head sculpt. I like that a lot. Looks really nice. For some reason, it kind of reminds me of the robot devil character from the Futurama show. As you can see, he's got light piping there. In terms of the overall look to him, you can see, to me at least, the arms appear longer in relation to the legs, which is to say the legs look shorter when compared to the arms. And that's fine with me. I don't mind that. In fact, it sort of lends a sort of like a gorilla type body to him. So he looks like he's really kind of a strong character with big broad shoulders and big long arms. Having said that, though, I wish the legs could have been a little bit longer. It's been a while since I saw Cliffjumper on the actual cartoon, but I don't know, I think the legs, just in terms of personal preference, not necessarily in terms of show accuracy, but in terms of personal preference, I would like the legs to have been a little longer. But I do like the really large arms. That's really cool, and the big shoulders and so forth. So that's nice. Just look at the back here of Cliffjumper. You do have just a bit of a gap in here. I know that sometimes bothers people, but I don't know, it doesn't bother me too much. For articulation, of course the head is on a ball joint. You've got the shoulder here on a ball joint, and you have a swivel at the bicep, and you have a bend at the elbow. Even though you saw that the waist does swivel for the transformation, because the back here, the hood, is locked into the body of Cliffjumper, there is no waist articulation. Once you untab this, yes, you can move the waist, but with that locked in place, you cannot move the waist, which is not a big deal to me. Hips / leg, you can see, are on a ball joint. You got good range of movement for the hips. You have a bend at the knee, and you do have some articulation up and down like that for the ankles, and as well as the shoulders. Actually, have a lot of range of articulation, as you can see there. So really nice articulation. So with that said, let's take a look at the comparison of this guy with Drift and Bumblebee in robot modes. So I showed you the comparisons in vehicle mode. Now here are the comparisons in robot mode. Of course, we have Transformers Prime Bumblebee and Generations Drift. Now what surprises me here is if you compare these two, Cliffjumper and Bumblebee, Bumblebee seems to be a bit bigger. Of course, he has a broader, bulkier chest, but he is actually a bit taller, at least the way they're posed right now. If we just do a side-to-side comparison there, he is a bit taller than Cliffjumper, and overall just bigger. And also probably that has to do with the fact that he has these wings on the back. But still, Cliffjumper looks a little bit smaller than maybe he should be. We didn't really see a lot of him, of course, in the Transformers Prime series, but there you go. That's just a size comparison there. Then we have, of course, Generations Drift is significantly taller. You can see the size comparison there. And I happen to have the Transformers Prime Wheeljack figure, just for another size comparison there. So one last thing, you're wondering maybe where are the weapons. Well, he does have a very nice gimmick. What you want to do is you want to open up the arms here, and inside, if you flip this around like that, you have the Gatling gun, and not just one arm but both arms, which is fantastic. And this is one of my favorite features of the robot mode. There's no really swapping hands or plugging in a weapon. You just flip them around like that, close the arm back up, and wow, you've got some really mean looking Gatling guns there to replace his hands. And that's how I think I'm going to be displaying this Cliffjumper figure. So really nice mechanism there to get the hands to store away, and you rotate out the Gatling guns. So very nice job by Hasbro in terms of engineering that design feature for the weapons. So final thoughts on Transformers Prime First Edition Cliffjumper. Overall, this is a awesome figure. Definitely a recommended pickup. Now, in terms of the vehicle mode, as I said before, is a bit small when compared to some previous releases. However, it makes up for that in terms of its detail, in terms of its paint job. Really nice details in vehicle mode, and I really like that look. Robot mode, great head sculpt, great overall proportions. I do like the really large, broad shoulders and the really large forearms. Nice to see that. It lends the character a lot of strength to have those large, big arms. I do have to say, however, that the legs, I think, could have been a little bit longer just to give the Cliffjumper figure that much more height. But other than that, really nice figure. And of course, the gimmick with the hand/Gatling guns. Really nice feature, really nice engineering on Hasbro's part, and definitely makes a nice display with the Gatling guns ready to be deployed. So really fantastic figure. Again, nice to see a unique Cliffjumper figure, not one that's been repainted from a Bumblebee figure. Alright, thanks for watching. This, of course, has been my review of Transformers Prime First Edition. Wait for it, wait for it. Cliffjumper. Thanks for watching.